Hello and good afternoon, New Jersey. I'm seeing so many great organizations today. We got healthcare and community centers. I'm seeing some schools, aftercare programs, family and housing services. Hope everyone is enjoying the holiday season. I'm a little late on some shopping and still need to figure out food to bring for parties, but I think all will work out. We're going to wait one more minute for more attendees to join before starting the presentation. My name is Janessa Ponko, and I'm so excited to have everyone join this webinar. Hope you're all able to use your Uber Eats and enjoy lunch while watching this. If you didn't get to use the code, it should be still good to use until later this afternoon. At the end of this presentation, I'll be following up with an email to provide the HRCI and Shroom credits. If you have any questions today, I'll do my best to check the question box and get back to you as soon as possible, as these questions will be saved. If you want any further information, feel free to respond to the email I'll be sending with the credits. We're also going to send a recording of the presentation you can share with your colleagues. Today, we're going to talk about New Jersey nonprofits and unemployment. Before I get started, just wanted to do a quick introduction of myself. My name is Janessa Ponko, and I'm the Membership Development Representative here at 501c Services. I've been in sales since 2016. I worked at a wedding fair for about 3 years selling vendor booth space. I've set up meetings for tech startups during the pandemic. And then I started scheduling appointments here at 501c since July 2023. And the picture of the people bowling is me and some of my sales and marketing team members. My manager, Heidi Posada, is in the middle. You may work with her in the future. And Evan is on the right, who does marketing and web development. I'm really excited to be part of a company that's been helping nonprofits save time and money that can go towards furthering their mission. Our company is located in San Jose, California, so we're in the heart of the Silicon Valley, and we're dedicated to helping nonprofits reduce unemployment expenses across the nation. And thank you again for joining to learn more about cost-effective strategies and managing unemployment in your state. We're going to provide a broad overview on how unemployment insurance works, alternatives for 501c3 nonprofits when it comes to unemployment, how reimbursing works. We're also going to use some real life examples of nonprofits we've helped out with our cost analysis, and finally provide more information on our company, 501c Services, and how many of our New Jersey nonprofits have benefited from our services. So first of all, I just wanted to start off with a little history to put unemployment in perspective. Unemployment started in the US in the 1930s following the Great Depression and the New Deal, where the federal government wanted to create a safety net for workers who lost their jobs through no fault of their own. From 1930 to 1972, 501c3 organizations didn't pay into unemployment benefits for separated employees. Although this saved nonprofits money from paying these taxes, employees that were laid off couldn't reap the benefits of having that safety net that for-profit companies provided. And then fast forward to 1972, the federal government changed the law under the Social Security Act to where nonprofits must pay into unemployment, but they were provided different options in how they pay so that the tax wouldn't be seen as an unnecessary expense for them. So unemployment is overseen on the federal level. However, each state gets to manage their own programs however they choose. So throughout the US, you can see different taxable wage bases, tax rates, benefit amounts. But today we're just going to cover information here in New Jersey. When it comes to management, unemployment rates can be adjusted annually and are adjusted by experience. So for instance, if you have a year or two of bad claims, your tax rate will increase. Most states, including New Jersey, run as a risk pool. So what you put in doesn't necessarily equate to what you get out. We're seeing that a lot of nonprofits are putting more money into that pool than what they're actually getting out. These total tax liabilities by employers are often greater than the claims paid, with reserves used in times of recession. The tax liability is calculated by multiplying the taxable wage base and your employer tax rate. So take a guess on what a single claim can cost in New Jersey. Feel free to add some answers into the question and answer box. So I'm seeing 12,000. I got 10,000. There's 11,200. 13,400. And just for a little hint, the total cost is looking at the weekly benefit maximum times the maximum number of weeks someone can claim. And for that maximum number of weeks, it's 26 weeks, just as a little hint. So we have two more answers. I got 77,000, 8,500. So the maximum amount a single person can claim in unemployment in New Jersey can cost $22,204. Just as a caveat, this is what an employer is charged for employee benefits by the state. Those extended benefits you saw in the recession and extra COVID payments were covered by the federal government. The maximum weekly benefit amount in New Jersey is around $854. And when we multiply that number by 26, the maximum number of benefit weeks is how we get that $22,204 for the maximum of what a single person can claim on unemployment. The federal government sets the wage base at a minimum of $7,000, and there isn't a maximum. In 2024, New Jersey's taxable wage base was set at $42,300, which means for the first $42,300 an employee earns, your organization is taxed on that amount. The minimum tax rate is at 1.2%. The maximum tax rate is at 7%. And those are both set by the state. And there is also a workforce fund rate that's added to the experience rating. The last thing we do want to know is the improper payment rate, which is at 18.56%. And this overpayment equates to over $528 million in overpayments to former employees who are collecting unemployment. This is information we get from the Department of Labor. And you can see that New Jersey is one of the many states that is greater than 13%. This is really important to know, as we really encourage you to look over your claims and make sure that you're not overpaying for anybody's claims. Here at 501, we help organizations monitor this. But if you are managing on your own, you really want to make sure that you're properly charged for a former employee's weekly benefit amount. There are three different alternatives for unemployment. One is that you pay the state tax that we mentioned earlier with the tax rate that's set by the state and taxable wages. Another option is that you could self-insure, reimburse for your unemployment, where you just pay dollar per dollar for your unemployment claims. You're basically only paying for the benefits issued. And then the last option is kind of a hybrid of both, where you can buy insurance that offers the savings of reimbursing while also providing that safety net. Just to let you know, reimbursing is not for everyone. The qualifications we look at for considering reimbursing is that an organization must be a 501c3 nonprofit. It excludes religious institutions. We recommend a gross annual payroll of $1 million or more, because typically if your payroll is under $1 million, especially significantly less, what you're paying into the state tax pool is probably pretty minimal, and you might not see much significant savings opting out. However, there may be some scenarios where you could see potential savings, and we'd be happy to look at those numbers, even if you're just slightly less than $1 million. We also look at a positive audit of the past 3 years. So that means in order for reimbursing to benefit you, We try to evaluate if what you paid each year in taxes exceeds what you pay in actual claims. We want to make sure that there isn't any major disruption in funding in the next 24 months. So we do recommend to stay with SUI if you might have anything from layoffs, reduction in workforce, losing funds, or closing programs where your tax rates may go up with experience. And you'll probably want to wait until those claims decrease. What it means to reimburse is that your tax rate turns to 0%, and the state will bill you only for the unemployment claims you receive over the quarter. It's a great way for nonprofits to save money and be a better steward of donor dollars. The process is seamless for separated employees. No matter how your employees separated, they'll still go through the same process for EDD, where the state will determine their benefit amount based on their base period pay. The only change is how the quarterly bill is calculated. So instead of the state unemployment insurance tax, you're now only responsible for the charges your organization incurs. We work with 1,500 nonprofits, and we have several of them in New Jersey. So you're probably wondering what motivates them to reimburse. In most cases, reimbursing saves money. On average, savings can be anywhere from 20 to 40% compared to paying for SUI. And this is really the driver for most organizations to switch. Reimbursing eliminates any concern of changes in the state tax, such as those tax hikes you can't control, and you become a better steward of donor dollars as you just pay for the actual claims than into the state pool. Because unemployment is managed by the federal government big picture, reimbursing is allowed in all 50 states. It's best with employers with over $1 million in payroll and at least 15 or more full-time employees. If you're on the borderline, we can still talk, as sometimes there are circumstances where we can consider reimbursing for your organization. If you're smaller and reimbursing already, we can still consider you for our services and how we can help you reduce your risk. There are a couple different strategies for reimbursing. So the first is to manage your own program. This can be a little risky with the highs and lows of unemployment, and you really need to make sure that you have budget for these claims and that your team is diligent with managing, auditing, protesting, and paying claims to reduce risk and prevent overpaying. Another option is to outsource, like using 501c services to help with the administrative work and managing the challenges that can come with unemployment claims. And we also have a trust where you can put money aside. The third option is to purchase insurance. At 501, we do offer insurance programs that are a little more expensive than the trust and offer different levels of protection. So I do want to talk about how SUI is calculated. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll show some real cost assessments we've done in the past. The taxable wage base is customized by each state. So in New Jersey, that taxable wage base is at $42,300. All employers in this state pay the same taxable wage base. It represents the first $42,300 of each employee's annual pay. There's no maximum and can increase or decrease by any amount each year. The tax rate is set annually by the state and is based on experience. To calculate the contribution amount, you would multiply the taxable wage base by the tax rate. So for New Jersey, it's at 42,300 times a range of 1.2 to 7%. So this amount means that if each employee makes over $42,300, a company is paying around $507.6 to $2,961 per employee in unemployment. In this first example of a human services nonprofit we worked with, the taxable payroll was just shy of $1 million, tax rate of 4.7%. Estimated claims were about 200 per year, and in this case, we looked at a 3-year average of claims. So they were overpaying $45,000 a year. Think of what you can do with an extra $45,000. For this next example, the taxable payroll was around $700,000, tax rate 3.38%. The estimated annual claims is $5,900. Estimated unemployment taxes were around $24,000. So they overpaid around $18,000. And here is a sample of a New Jersey tax rate notice. The top highlighted portion represents the last 3 years of your taxable wages that you would divide by 3 to get an average of your taxable wage base for this year. This document also includes your UI experience rate that's highlighted, and also that workforce fund rate that you add to the experience rate. So this tax rate notice gives us some information for us to do a free cost analysis for your organization, but we may need a few years of notices to do a thorough analysis because the New Jersey tax rate notices do not break down the total benefits paid and the total SUI paid by year. Also, there isn't a need for you to understand each line, but we'd be happy to still look over your form and go over those numbers with you. And a little bit more about our company. We were founded in 1982 by a former UCP executive, John Huckstad. He was looking for ways to save money for his organization, so he came up with the idea of starting a trust. He created the first kind of grantor trust called the Joint Unemployment Compensation Trust that eventually became 501c3, 501c Services, 501c Agencies Trust. We started at around 25 members here in San Jose and have grown to helping over 3,000 nonprofits in various ways. In 2016, John sold the company back to his employees, so we're now 100% employee owned. From our receptionist to the CEO, every member is committed to our company and serving our members. Our services are valued tremendously by our members, with our company having over a 98% retention rate. And here are a couple of testimonials our members have shared, and you can go back to these later as I'll send over the slides after the presentation. And this is a clip that we had from our 40th anniversary celebration a few years ago. That includes testimonials from Anika Lund and Mike Hoffman from Start Early, Mary Sue and Michael Eady from CISC, Sandy Leota and Chris Marshall of Baltimore Center Stage, and Phyllis Austin and Jason Penniger from Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
What makes me passionate about working for a non-for-profit organization is because I knew I always wanted to work for a mission-driven organization.
Our mission is to work with immigrant communities so that they can achieve the American dream.
501 helps focus our service to the community by giving us more time.
501 helps us focus on serving our communities by providing services directly to our HR professionals.
The biggest benefit for working with 501 is really the transparency and ability to forecast our costs when it comes to our unemployment benefits.
They also keep our cash flow steady through claims that are sound and take a lot of the admin burden off of us so we can just stay on autopilot.
We're very grateful for all the support you provided over the last 4 decades, and we wish you continued success in the future.
Congratulations, 501, on your 40th anniversary. It's been a pleasure serving with you for the last 24 years.
And like I said earlier, we work with several New Jersey nonprofits, and here's a quick snapshot of these members. So the first way we help nonprofits is through claims management. Our team will help you audit and protest claims. We have unlimited access to hearing reps, and our team also has an 87% win rate with protesting. You'll also have a dedicated claims manager once you become a member of the trust. And all of our claims will come through an online portal where you'll be notified when a claim has been filed. You'll go into the portal to respond to the questions. And if in any case you go on PTO and forget to delegate these tasks, it shouldn't be a problem for when a claim isn't responded to in several days, it gets escalated and handled. A big part of our claims management is that our team doesn't want your organization to overpay or get hit by those New Jersey error rates. So we can audit those charges for you or prevent you from paying for a claim when someone gets terminated. We want to make sure that you're managing these claims and have enough support to do so. Our HR services include 3 components. We offer access to limited HR consultations. We're a small, dedicated team that will answer any of your HR-related questions. So if you ever have an ongoing issue, you can develop rapport with the person who will support you and manage any of your HR questions. Our HR services have trainings throughout the year that are HRCI and TRUM certified. And there's also an online knowledge library with our HR services. With the $854 maximum weekly benefits here in New Jersey, our goal is to help you keep that cost as low as possible. If you're ever laying someone off, our reemployment tool lets you offer packages that range from online coaching, interview techniques, and resume writing. It's never fun to let someone go, but at least you can give them the safety net and resources to help them secure a new job faster, which in return can help save your organization more money. And the protection part is the insurance part of our program. Most of our members take our stop loss protection, which helps our members during catastrophic claims. And then other than these catastrophic claims for managing the highs and lows of unemployment, we have the trust account. This is a reserve account held in the trust, owned by your organization, where we can help you manage those possible unexpected number of claims. I hope this sparked your interest, and maybe some of you may want to manage your unemployment through us as a reimbursing employer. If you wanted to look into potential savings, what I would need from you is your 941s or your estimated payroll from 2023 to 2024 as a reimburser. And if you are paying SUI, ideally, we would like to look at your last 3 years of tax notices. If you're only able to locate your 2024 tax rate notice, don't worry, we can also work with that as well. So for questions and answers, I currently don't see any questions in the chat box, so I will be logging off in about a minute. I will provide answers to any other questions that might come up through email. And also I'll send over that follow-up email along with the copy of the slides and credits in the next few hours. If you're still typing as I log out, please feel free to respond to that follow-up email. And thank you again for joining and watching this presentation, and looking forward to speaking with some of you soon. And if you have any questions, this is my contact information. Thanks again, and hope you guys have a great week.